Alright people, Mike Salden here again. Welcome back to some more Phantom Liberty, the Cyberpunk 2077 expansion. Today I'm just doing a gig for Mr. Hans. He has about 10 gigs in this expansion. I've done quite a few of them now. They're all really fun so far. And a lot of good opportunities to use stealth and to sneak around and do some Metal Gear type stuff, crawling through vents, hacking doors. Really lets you see how good the level design CD project have put in here is. There's usually 2 or 3 different ways through an area, um, and it's always good to experiment with stealth because you do see a lot more of the level this way, I think, because you're always looking for a path that sort of goes around the outside of the area, maybe gets you up to the roof. Maybe there'll be a skylight up there that you can open, or there'll be a door that you can hack, or maybe there'll be an open window that you can jump through. Or maybe on the ground floor there's going to be a crack in the wall somewhere you can sneak in, or there could be a vent you can kick open. And I just really like the stealth in this game. When the game first launched in 2020, I think the stealth was a little bit broken. Enemies seemed to be able to spot you really easily. They could almost see you through walls sometimes, it felt like. But now in update 2.0 and Phantom Liberty, the stealth works pretty much as intended, and it does feel really great to be sneaking around and doing all these stealthy Metal Gear type things. Like, I just hacked that light to draw this guy over there, so well, he was also going to spot me out of the corner of his eye, so I just used my jump ability with my leg upgrades to sort of get in behind him, grab him, choke him out. Non-lethal. I'll try to be non-lethal when I'm doing stealth. He kind of glitched through that box there, but oh well, that's going to hide him better, so don't mind too much about that. But yeah, I try to choke people out when doing these kind of stealth missions now. Used to be I would just use short circuit on everyone, but those abilities, most of them have a trace on them, and even if you didn't get noticed taking out the guy with short circuit, it seems like everyone on the network in this area, like, they can tell something's going on and a trace will be put on you. There are certain abilities that don't have a trace, like the system shutdown ability, but it costs so much RAM to use. You can only use it once, and then you need to wait like maybe a minute or more before you can use it again, so it's not as overpowered as short circuit used to be. So I do try to choke people out. I think it's actually good that they rebalanced it that way, because it encourages you to use even more stealth options, like hacking things to distract enemies and let them look out of the way, so that you can sneak past them without even having to take them down. Or again, using the the ninjutsu or whatever it's called to choke people out or whatever. I don't actually have any silenced weapons. I should have brought some, because they would probably be pretty useful around now. I haven't actually tried taking anyone out with a silencer in any of these missions yet. I just remember back in the day it didn't seem to work that well. So I accidentally summoned this guy over here. So short circuit seemed to be alright on these guys because I didn't get a trace. But normally, when I've been doing the short circuiting on people in most of these areas, I have been getting a trace on me. So this guy has 3 health bars, so short circuit's not going to work on him that well. So I decided to choke him out. That's another little thing that rebalanced the game. You sometimes get these slightly tougher enemies that take 2 or 3 health bars to get down. So they do encourage you to try some different methods. I always like hacking these little boxes, getting some quick hack components and crafting components, and I think you can get some credits out of those as well. and I just like going around taking and turning off all the cameras, because more often than not, when my stealth missions go wrong, it's because I walk into a room and I haven't spotted a camera up in the corner, and it just alerts everyone. So it's actually sometimes harder to get past cameras than the actual enemies, because they're usually working at stuff, hanging around in their little patrol routes, and then you'll be keeping an eye on them, and then step into a dark room, and you won't have spotted a camera up in the corner. So you do have to carefully scan every room before you go into it. This felt very Metal Gear here, where I came in through the ventilation shaft. You could see all these people below, and I had two paths to drop down here. I decided to go for the left one, because this one, the one on the right, seemed like it was just going to drop me down right on top of the enemies. So I just had to jump down there, got behind some cover. There's a little turret over there. You can turn the turrets to your side, turn on friendly mode, which if an alert does go off, the turret will start shooting the enemies for us. Or you can fully just take over the turret and manually start taking people out. But I thought I was doing pretty well with the stealth here, so I kind of just wanted to stick to it. So my plan here was to choke out this guy, and then probably just hack the other two. I think that's what I did here. Yeah, I just short circuit this guy, and then when he goes down, I take out his friend. Again, I didn't seem to be getting a trace signal for all this hacking. Again, in a lot of other missions, when I was using short circuit, like immediately, even if nobody had seen the enemy get taken down, I immediately was getting this like trace signal on me. So I'm actually not sure how that works then, because I've been taking out these guys and nobody's been putting a trace on me. So that is interesting. This area, this place is just packed with enemies. I think what I did was I choked out a few people that were up here on the upper level. Even though they were busy and they weren't really going to spot me, I decided it was better to be safe than sorry, and just put down people when I have an opportunity to do it. Because there always is this chance of making some random mistake and then it turns into a firefight. Didn't have enough technical ability to open this gate, so I'm making a note of putting up my technical ability to 20. It's at 18 at the moment, and I think you get 20 extra perk points in this expansion. You can go up to level 70, so I'm definitely going to put technical ability up to 20. Get the full 20 points in it, because it seems quite useful. Especially if you're a stealth character, some doors you can just hack, and it'll really help you get through tougher areas like this one. So I basically just hacked everyone in that last area really slowly, using the sort of system shutdown ability, because I was actually still worried about this trace ability that kept happening to me in other areas, and for some reason I hadn't really noticed that it wasn't happening so far in this mission when I was using short circuit everywhere else. I really need to look into more how that trace ability works now. Used to be you could find the enemy's netrunner. They usually only had one of them, and he was the one who was tracing you, and if you took him out quick enough, it would stop the trace, and then you didn't have to worry about it anymore. I wonder if that is still the same in this, but I'm not sure. This guy had noticed that I'd taken out somebody else, so I needed to quickly choke him out. Because they can find bodies, and then that puts the enemies on alert. It doesn't trigger like a complete chaos mode alert. It just means the enemies are a bit more on guard, and they are sort of changing up their patrol route, looking around for anyone who's snuck in here. So this is the area where we're supposed to be finding these stolen prototypes that these scavs have stolen or whatever. But I went on their computer first, turned off the rest of their cameras and security. Just making sure we weren't going to run into any of that later. And then you look through some of these emails and these files, and then you get some passwords for a cell door up ahead. So it's always good to check in on computers and whatever, especially in this expansion. It seems like there usually is something to do with the mission on there. You're going to get a code for a door, or you're going to find some useful information that might come up in a conversation. Somebody could be lying to you because you've read the truth on a document on the laptops or whatever. You can call them out on it. I've seen that happen before. So basically we got in here, and instead of finding our prototypes, we found this guy. And he's actually installed the prototype item into his head. I think it's that eye patch thing he's wearing. So basically the deal is he wants to get out of here, and if we want to deliver the item or whatever, we're going to have to take him with us because it's in his head, basically. It's really fun little twists like this in these gigs that sort of set them apart from the gigs in the main game, because most of them were pretty straightforward. A lot of them were just go here, take out this guy, and bring his body back to our car, and we'll drive off with him. And most of them played out that way, with not a lot of dialogue scenes like this or little decisions for you to make. But here, there actually were some decisions to make, some like skill checks in your dialogue. Like I had that cool option to use there, and there's also like there is like 2 different ways you can do this now. Like you can agree to help this guy, or you cannot, basically. And it's like really cool that they have these kind of gigs where there's like more RPG mechanics going on. So yeah, we got the cell door code off that computer, of course, so we didn't have to go looking for it. And then we just basically escort this guy out of here. I took out most of the enemies, so it's relatively safe escape here. And he actually shows us to a back route out of here. So yeah, it's over here. He puts down this like drawbridge that the scavs use as an escape route, and we basically take advantage of that.
Couple more steps.
Some really nice lighting here in Cyberpunk now. Really good sunsets and sunrises.
Keep it together.
Very impressive looking game on PS5.
Should be safe here.
They really have put a lot of work into it. Basically, when you get over here to this side of the bridge, you can have another conversation with Hassan here, and you can either let him escape and walk free, and he's going to promise to keep his head down, and in exchange he's going to give you some like some documentation about the prototypes, something we can pass to Mr. Hands and say, this is the only thing we could get back. The other items weren't there. So yeah, this is the decision you can make. You can either call the fixer and tell him that he has to pick up this Hassan guy, or you could just walk away and we never met this guy, basically. We're going to put it out that the technology was just gone.
Really?
So yeah, it's really cool that you have these little dialogue scenes and gigs like this now. Some gigs in the main story did have, or in the main game even, did have, they did have some dialogue sometimes. But this gig and the other gigs in the expansion, there is a lot more moments like this where you have some dialogue, and it happens more often. And they're a lot more fleshed out, I think, so... Yeah, this is a really cool little one. I really enjoyed being able to stealth my way through it. Didn't really get spotted. And yeah, I made the decision to let this guy go. Could come back to bite me in the ass later. Mr. Hands might find out about it. He might be mad. But we'll have to see how that goes. And then, yeah, of course you have to escape from this tower. and I was a little bit confused where I was going at first. But eventually I was just like, okay, I'll just jump down off all these roofs. It seemed, oop, I accidentally climbed up onto a higher one. But yeah, you can actually do some pretty decent parkour in this game if you have the correct like jumping abilities. Like you've upgraded your legs or whatever, so you can jump pretty far or pretty high as well. Basically, we have to go deposit the. He didn't give us all the technology. He just gave us some documents about it, I think, and that's what we pass over to Mr. Hans here. And yeah, he seems to know something's up, I think. Uh, but yeah, we seem to get away with it. So alright people, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time with another Cyberpunk video.
Schematics, though. That an issue?
It's certainly a snag. Zeta Tech will not be thrilled, but I suppose that's my cross to bear. Transferring your compensation now.